Okay, guys, UFC 321, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Khan. I will be breaking down every single fight on this card, giving my picks and predictions. If you want betting predictions, any plays, go follow the Discord, go follow the Instagram. Please like, subscribe, meet me in the comments, and we can talk about everything I break down. Now, let's get into this. Opening up the card, we're going to be in the women's strawweight division. Jacqueline Memoriam versus Mizuki. Now, Mizuki has been really inactive these last couple years. I don't know if she's even fought in a year or two. And since 2020, she's probably only fought 2-3 times. So, not a good sign. On the other hand, Jacqueline Memoriam is coming in with a lot of momentum, a lot of finishes, very good submission game, decent striking. I know Mizuki has some armbar finishes from people getting on top with ground and pound, making a mistake. Do I see Jacqueline making that mistake? I do not. So my pick's going to be Jacqueline Amorium. I would say by decision, a lot of control time. She's just going to be overall the better fighter. She has a little bit more polished record, more reach, just all around going to be a better fighter. Going with Jacqueline Amorium as the pick. All right, let's get on to the next one. Azat Maxim versus Mitch Raposo. I really like Azat Maxim. He is showing a lot of promise. He's had some good good competition. He's fought so far. Pretty all around fighter. I think he's a more all around guy than Mitch Raposo. And my pick is going to be Azat Maxim. He is a little wide on the odds. I want to say, what was he looking at? Coming in at a minus 360. As far as the value for betting, I'd probably stay away from that one mostly, but I do think he's going to come out on top. I think he's overall a better fighter. He had a loss versus Charles Johnson, which Charles Johnson is a good fighter. He does that to people, so you know, valid loss. On the other hand, Mitch Raposo, decent fighting, decent competition that he's went up against. I think he has 2 split decisions. And I think he goes to decision a lot. Azat Maxim, I believe, has been finished before, but also a big decision fighter. But I'm gonna go with Azat Maxim again by decision. I don't see him finishing Mitch Raposo. But yeah, should be a decent fight. Honestly think the one before this will be a little bit better, but Azat Maxim is the pick. Let's get into the next one. Let's get into the heavyweight division. Hamdi Abdullahab versus Chris Barnett. Now, I know starting off, I want to talk about, they have Chris Barnett right now as a plus 330 underdog. I see a lot of value in that. I don't think Hamdi is that much above him to be a minus 425. Will I be betting on Hamdi for that? No, there's no value. Now, throwing a couple dollars on Chris Barnett, I don't think it would hurt. In his last fight, Chris Barnett, he had a weird injury. He injured himself during the warm-ups. Little sus. And Kennedy Nzechukwu really put it on him after that injury. Without the injury, I think the same result would have happened. Now, Hamdi Abdullahab, on the other hand, he's good. But, he's a heavyweight getting decision wins. He's not really a big finisher. I see him. There's a high chance that if Chris Barnett does win this fight, it's going to be by a knockout. It's going to be by a counter, wild hook. Other than that, if this goes the full length, I see Hamdi Abdullahab pulling this off by decision. Good wrestling, good striking. Chris Barnett, on the other hand, more of a spinning heel kick, counter, heavy hook type of striker. Very athletic for his size. He is 5'9", 264 pounds. Just saying. That's a crazy build for a UFC fighter. But I'm gonna go with the safe pick, Hamdi Abdulahab. I think he should get this done, but I might be throwing a couple dollars on just a money line, Chris Barnett, just because the odds are so wide on that. I don't think he's uh, I don't think he should be that big of a dog. Maybe like a minus 200 dog or something like that. But yeah, it's gonna be my pick, Hamdi Abdulahab. Let's get on to the next one. Now I'm actually really excited for this one. Getting into the featherweight bout with Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Miguel Delgado. Now, Nathaniel Wood, very polished striker, overall polished in his overall game. Um, I know he's been making the move to featherweight. A lot of people say he's been looking pretty good at this weight class. Pulled off a couple good decision wins. I know he just had a decision win over Morgan Charrier. Decent win. You know, he's not a high level guy like that, just kind of a good scrapper guy, you know, strong, fast. You know, I know he took out Nate Ledward or whatever his name is, but Nathaniel Wood, really crisp, really, you know, really well-rounded fighter in the UFC. Now, Jose Miguel Delgado, on the other hand, is coming in with a lot of height, couple knees, good flash finishes. I really like him. He's also well-rounded, good wrestling. I definitely think Nathaniel Wood's going to have the speed advantage going into this. Um, I would say overall, technically, Nathaniel Wood's the better guy technically. But when it comes to sheer power, finishing abilities, Jose Miguel Delgado has that. And I think this is a really big step up in competition for Jose Miguel Delgado. And I think this is his test. This, if he can defeat Nathaniel Wood, this is gonna show that he's that guy, that he's at that level of, you know, of fighting. And I'm gonna side with Jose Miguel Delgado on this one. That's gonna be the pick, and I think I'm gonna lay some skin down on that as well. I really like the value. You know, I think they're pretty even. So Nathaniel Wood coming in at the plus 124, Jose at a minus 148. Some value right there. I like those odds. I even think I like a pick 'em odds. I wouldn't be mad at that. But we can get in there. Nathaniel Wood though, don't count him out. Don't count him out. He's really good. Really small for the division. Let's see. He's coming in yeah, 5'6" compared to 5'11". So, you know, it's really up to Jose Delgado to see if he can really utilize that reach, really keep that distance. But at the same time, you know, with the way he's looking, the scramble could be deadly. You know, those pocket exchanges can be deadly for Nathaniel Wood. I don't see Nathaniel Wood finishing it. I don't see it. And I see the finish on the other hand. I think if it gets to a decision, I think Nathaniel Wood can put out more volume. I don't really see him being able to wrestle him, but who knows? I could be underestimating his wrestling abilities. On the other hand, same with Delgado. I don't really see him controlling Nathaniel Wood on the ground like that. Then again, I could be underestimating him, but the way I see this is either Nathaniel Wood winning by decision or Jose Delgado knocking him out, knocking Wood out. So again, pick is going to be Jose Delgado. Decent amount of confidence on that one. But let's move on to the next fight into the heavyweight division. Walter Walker versus Louis Sutherland. Now, Louis Sutherland was supposed to come in his UFC debut fighting Junior Tafa, and honestly, if that fight would have happened, my money would have been on Louis Sutherland. But he's fighting a different level of competition right here. He's fighting Walter Walker, who has 3 heel hooks, I believe, in a row in the UFC for you know, lower level heavyweights. And you know, heavyweights are really heavy grapplers like that. But that's what makes him scary in this division. Louis Sutherland, though, the one thing that worries me, like, yeah, he's a big guy, you know, 6'3", doesn't even say his weight, but I know he's more than 244. He's just, you know, has that strong man build. Walter's 6'6", you know, he's going to be able to use that length. And I think that length is going to really play advantage into the wrestling. And then again, going back to what I was just about to say, Louis Sutherland has fought in the regional scene, but when he stepped up in the PFL and he stepped up into the Bellator, he lost. And I don't see him stepping up into the UFC and then getting a win. That just doesn't make sense. The math ain't mathing right there. So I'm gonna go with Walter Walker. by sub, possibly a ground and pound, but I see him, Louis Sutherland's a really good striker. He's pretty technical and slick for a heavyweight. That's what I've noticed. He has good little front kicks, not really teep kicks, but he's throwing good front kicks, leg kicks, pretty crisp boxing, a lot of power behind him. But overall, I think Walter Walker's just he's the better guy. He's gonna come out here, stand around a little bit, and I think he's gonna look to get this fight to the ground and show that high level grappling that he possesses. And yeah, so pick's gonna be Walter Walker by submission. All right, let's get into the next one. Abdul Karim also Wadi versus Mateus Camilo. Now Abdul Karim, he's a very polished fighter, pretty well rounded. I want to say all of his losses come by the way of knockout. And on the other hand, with Matias Camilo, I think all of his losses are by sub. Now, do I see Abdul Karim subbing him? No, I don't really see it. And this is kind of like the Jose Delgado Nathaniel Wood fight. If it goes to decision, I can see Al-Swahadi pulling it off, getting a little bit more of the volume out. Mateus Camilo doesn't really throw a lot of volume. He's more of a low volume striker. Sit back, pick his shots wisely. That's where I see him having success, is catching him off a big shot. And I think he has to really rely on that knockout in this one. I don't think he wants the judges to score this in Abu Dhabi versus, a guy he's from Afghanistan, I want to say. I don't see this playing out well if it gets to the judges for Camilo. So I think he has to really rely on that deadly strike. And actually, my pick is going to go Mateus Camilo. I just, watching the tape, I really like that power he possesses, how he picks his shots. He is hittable, and he is he's vulnerable to getting taken down and possibly controlled. That is another path to victory by Abdul Karim. But I think I'm gonna bank on the laid back, finding that shot. And they're almost pretty much at pick'em odds right now. Yeah, I know it's shifted a little bit and it's looking okay. He's from Palestine. He's coming in at the 112 favorite. Abdul coming in at the 108 dog. So pretty even. Definitely I'll definitely have a bet with Camilo on there. I do like that it's that close of a line. But yeah, overall, I'm gonna bank on the Matias Camilo by KO. So we're gonna go. Let's hope this doesn't get to the decision. All right, moving on to the lightweight division, we got Ludovic Klein versus Matej Rebetsky. Now I really like Rebetsky. He's a dog. He did get worked on his last couple fights. Got worked on pretty heavy, and it's pretty recent that he's got worked on and just brutalized in the face. He did not look pretty after that. And I think Ludovic Klein is the overall just better technical striker. Really good wrestling defense too as well. And Rebetsky, I don't see him being able to control him on the ground. I don't see that happening. I see him trying. That could be part of the game plan, and I think he's going to find out he's not going to be able to do that to Ludovic Klein. I see Ludovic Klein getting a KO here. I see the technical striking really playing a factor in this fight, and I think he's going to be able to throw a lot of volume and piece him up. And yeah, I'm going to go Ludovic Klein by KO. Again, I like Rebetsky, but sometimes you got to go against what you like, especially when there's money on the line here. So Ludovic Klein by KO. Let's get into the next one. Ikram Alaskira versus Jung Young Park. Now Ikram coming off some really good wins. I know he has that one loss to Robert Whitaker, kind of just got thrown into that, stepped up last minute. Big step up in competition for him. Robert, that's the Reaper, Bobby Knuckles right there. Very tough test to pass, and just wasn't his time. Now, if that fight were to play out and happen, in the future, it could be a different result. Ikram's just improving. He's a young fighter. Great wrestling, great striking overall. And on the other hand, Jung Young Park, he's the same. He's a very good pressure fighter. Puts a lot of pressure on the boxing. Has great grappling. I just don't think he's as polished as Ikram Aliskirov. Yeah, and he's a little older. Let's see. Uh, doesn't even have the weight or the age. But let's take a look at these odds. Ikram coming at the minus 258 favorite, and Jung Young Park coming in at the plus 210. I think that's a really good line. Um, there's definitely some value in that. I would say throwing him on a parlay wouldn't hurt at all. Jung Young Park can probably give him some issues, I think, in the first round. But overall, I think Ikram's going to be able to push through. We're going to really see, and test his gas tank right now, because Jung Young Park has great cardio. He tends to push the fight, kind of push the pace later on in the later rounds. That's what I feel like he's known for. And I want to say KO. I just don't see him knocking him out. I see it being a really close fight, closer than probably most people are going to expect. But I'm going to go with Ikram Aliskirov pulling it off by decision. I want to say KO, but I just don't. I don't see him knocking him out. I see him putting work on him. I can really see that. But as far as the knockout, I'm not too confident in that. So we're going to go Ikram Aliskirov by decision. All right. Now I'm actually really excited for this next fight in the lightweight division. Nasrat Haqparast versus Quillan Salkild. Now, Quillan Salkild, I really like what I see from him. I know some people are saying he has some questionable performances. He's young. He's coming up. He's good size for the lightweight division, 6 foot. Great wrestling. From what I see, he has pretty high level wrestling. Decent striking. I think Nasrat has the advantage in the striking realm. And the thing about Nasrat as well is he has faced better competition. And that's what makes this a little tough. Let's look at the odds here. Again, almost a pick 'em. Nasrat, the slight favorite at minus 115. Quillan Salkild minus 105 as the dog. There's value in either way you want to go with this. There's value there. And as much as I want to pick Nasrat Haqparast, because that's the safer pick as far as his resume, his wins that he's got in the UFC, I'm gonna go with Quillan Salkild. I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna pick him. I'm gonna do the long shot here. Put my faith in the younger guy, upcoming. I'm gonna rely on that wrestling that he has, and this is gonna be his test because Nasrat just isn't. He's not gonna get controlled like that by him, but this is his test. This is his test to showcase. Is he that guy, or does he need to work on more things? Is the veteran guy, or not veteran, but the guy with more UFC experience? Is he gonna show him that he's not ready for that level, or is he gonna get a win here and then possibly get a real matchup to show off, showcase his skills? So I'm gonna go with Quillan Salkild by decision. I don't see him getting a submission. Nasrat's a little too experienced for that. I don't see him putting him out on the feet. Nasrat has the striking advantage. So as long as he can get this fight to the cage, get this fight to the ground, take the back, give him a lot of looks, a lot of submission looks, I think he could pull this off by decision. So Quillan Salkild by decision. All right, let's get into the main card. Now we're looking at Alexander Rakic versus Azamat Murzanikov. Azamat Murzanikov is coming in undefeated. As far as the competition that he's faced, not a lot of big names that he's beat. On the other hand, Alexander Rakic has been in there with the best, Ankalaev, Jan Blachowicz, and he's won rounds versus these top guys. Yuri Prochazka, we know that's his game plan. Go in there, get pieced up the first round on some autistic samurai shit, and then second, third round, take over, lock in, and get the crazy flying knee spinning back fist finish. We know that's Yuri Prochazka's game plan. But Alexander Rakic has won rounds versus these high level guys, and now he has a guy coming up in the division. You know, he has a big advantage in the height. You know, 6'4" versus 5'10". He has a big advantage in the reach department. Let's look at the. So he's coming in with a 6.5 inch reach advantage. 5-inch leg reach advantage. This is a really tough one to score right here. This is a really tough one. He's at the slight underdog at 105. Azamat Mirzanikov coming in at the slight favorite, minus 115. This is a really tough one. From what I see, I'm going to kind of go with the safer pick, Azamat here. I don't see him finishing him either. But then again, he could really be improving and ready to show. There's some fighters that they don't do as good. They kind of fight to other people's levels. But yeah, this is a really tough one. I want to go Rakic. I feel like trusting the resume is the route to go, but I'm gonna go Azamat Mirzanikov. I'm gonna go that he protects that zero and puts it on. Alexander Rakic gets a couple wild swings on him, wild hooks. I'm gonna go Azamat by knockout. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go Azamat by knockout. Not confident. Alexander Rakic is a force to be reckoned with. He's been there, done that. So not so confidently. Azamat Mirzanikov by KO. All right, let's move it up into the heavyweight division again. Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida now. Alexander Volkov, big resume in the UFC. He's been in there with the best of the best, all-around guy. Good, clean, crisp kickboxing, pretty good defense. As far as wrestling, he's had some questionable performances, but the thing about Alexander Volkov is he's still getting better. He's still improving. He's still showing a lot of improvement. And if you've seen that first fight he had with Cyril Khan, where he got worked on, compared to the second fight, where arguably Volkov won. A lot of people would say he won that. It was a very close split decision, but Cyril Khan, got the judges to side with him on that, and I think that showed a lot of Alexander's improvement. Now, John Almeida, on the other hand, he's on a real hot streak right now. I knew he had that loss versus Curtis Blaydes. He went in, I think, for like a double leg, single leg. Curtis Blaydes stuffed it and just started going ham on the head and just piecing him up in the temple area. I think Alexander Volkov can come in with a game plan to really focus on not getting taken down by him and keeping this on the feet. And if this stays on the feet, Alexander Volkov has the huge striking advantage. John Almeida is good. He's improving still in the striking, but I just don't think he's at that level of kickboxing that Volkov is at. And I'm going with the dog here. I'm going with Alexander Volkov at the plus 185 dog. John Almeida at the minus 225. I'm going to go with Alexander Volkov. I like the value on that. I really like that. He's big. He's 6'7". It's a big guy. It's a really big guy. He's gonna have 20 pounds in on him. It's gonna be tough to wrestle a guy that big. And we're, again, this is a test for Jailton Almeida. Is he really that guy? If he can do that, put out Volkov, he's looking at, title contention at that point. He could be fighting the winner of Tom Aspinall versus Gane, especially if he takes him out. If he can finish him, that's going to look a lot better. But my overall pick, I'm going to go Alexander Volkov. I'm going to say knockout. I'm going to say he can piece him up on the feet. I see Almeida throwing a desperate takedown, kind of like the Blaydes fight. I see him throwing a desperate takedown and getting pieced up. And let's not forget, Volkov has jiu-jitsu. So possible sub, but I'm going to go with a knockout. TKO stoppage. Alexander Volkov. All right, let's get into the next one. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista. I want to start off looking right at these odds now. Heavy favorite. I think he might be the heaviest favorite of the card, Umar. The minus 625 favorite. Mario Batista coming in at a plus 455 dog. it's hard to say if those lines are crazy or not because Umar is very high level. He just had a very good fight with Marab in the championship fight recently, about a year ago, um, or maybe less than a year ago. But that's Marab. He's a machine, literally. He's the machine. He's doing this to everybody, and Umar gave him the best run for his money. Won some rounds. I think that fifth round when Marab put it on him, was showboating to the crowd, getting the crowd to react. I think that's kind of what helped win him the fight, and that's what he's been doing. Mario Batista, on the other hand, has some great wins, and I honestly think at first when he beat Patchy Mix, it looked really good. It looked really good, and then now seeing that Patchy Mix lost to another guy coming in his UFC debut didn't age well. That win did not age well, and he went to a decision with him. He didn't finish that guy, like he just got finished. Or no, he didn't get finished, but he got worked on. I think Umar's just a step ahead in competition in him. I don't think Mario Batista's ready for that. To say that he's a plus 425 dog, I don't know. I don't know. There could be some value. In my eyes, no. Other people could see that though and see some value. So don't really overlook that. But yeah, my pick, Umar Nurmagomedov by decision. I don't see him finishing Mario Batista. He's a really tough guy. Really tough guy to put out. I think he's gonna really push the pace. I can see him winning a round. Really getting some good strikes. I think in the scrambles, Mario Batista is going to be better. But as far as just the technical range striking, I think Umar's a little bit better. I think he could be a little slept on that striking. People obviously just look at him as a wrestler, but I think he can stand up and strike. I think he's not going to run to the ground a lot in this fight. I don't see it. Eventually he'll get there, probably third round, second round, but first round, I could see them just getting in a good striking duel right there. So Umar Nurmagomedov by decision. Let's move on to the women's strawweight division with the title shot. Virna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. Now, they have fought before. Earlier in their careers, Mackenzie Dern coming off with a win, very close win. I think it was a split decision win. Things have changed since then, though. Mackenzie Dern's gotten better. Virna Jandiroba's gotten better. But I think that Mackenzie Dern has improved her striking more or less, and Virna Jandiroba has improved her wrestling and grappling. And I think that her improving that is going to play a big role in this fight. And I think Virna Jandiroba is going to take this one. Now let's look at the odds real quick. She's coming in at the plus 130 dog. Mackenzie Dern with the minus 155 favorite. Pretty good odds. Definitely I like that Virna's the dog is a better I see the value in that. But again, the improvement on both sides, has been showing. But Virna beat Amanda Lemos. Amanda Lemos beat Kenzie Dern, a little bit of MMA math, but in different ways. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Virna Jandiroba for this one. This is gonna be a good fight. I actually am excited for this one. Cause whoever gets this has the title, and then what's next? Who's next for them? Is it gonna be one like last time, and then we got to run a third? How's that gonna play out? But my overall pick is gonna be Virna Jandiroba by decision. I think she's gonna be able to get a little bit more ground control. I think she's worked on her top game a lot, and I think that's gonna show in this fight. So yeah, my pick, Virna Jandiroba by decision. Now let's get into this final fight, heavyweight championship bout. Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Khan. I don't want to overlook Cyril Khan, but Tom Aspinall's just been doing it. He's been running through the division. Cyril Khan has been showing a lot of holes in the wrestling. John Jones exposed him. I think even Francis Ngannou got a takedown on him. Tried to throw in a Kimura attempt on there. And I think Tom Aspinall's wrestling is just, he's too athletic with the wrestling. It's not even his technicality of the wrestling. It's just the athleticism, that double leg, head in the chest takedown. Cyril Khan's not defending it. He's not. And I think Tom Aspinall is going to really use that. Really use that. Tom Aspinall doesn't want to just sit and strike. He has a quick 1-2 that can tag him, but I think he respects Khan enough. I think he has enough respect for him to not just sit there and strike with this guy, one of the best strikers in the heavyweight division. He's smarter than that, I hope. Excuse me. And honestly, Cyril Khan has been in there with better competition, but he has lost to that better competition. Cyril Khan also, like I was saying earlier, he had that very close split decision win over Alexander Volkov, where a lot of people would say Volkov won. Tom Aspinall ran through Volkov. So I'm gonna go with the pick, Tom Aspinall, and I'm gonna go with like a TKO. I just feel like he's not gonna sub him. I feel like he's gonna get him to the ground and just wail. I feel like he's not even gonna try and submit him. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna go Tom Aspinall by a TKO. This is gonna be an exciting fight, though. I'll definitely be getting a little nervous during this one, but good card overall. Last card was crazy. RDR taking the L. Got over half the picks on that one. There was obviously some big upsets on there. But if you like this channel, if you liked what you're seeing, please go like, subscribe, drop a comment into the comment section. Go follow the Discord, go follow the Instagram. And also, if you like the beats on this channel, they're all made by me. So DM, put a comment down if you're looking to buy some beats, if you know some friends who want some beats. I'll be posting a new beat every video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, you degenerate sick fucks.